When we look at the world around us with open eyes, we begin to see patterns that are too consistent, too purposeful, too intelligent to be explained away by chance. Even when we turn our attention to something as ordinary as the animals we share our homes and lives with, we find evidence of careful design, of an intentional creator who had humanity's needs in mind from the very beginning. Take the dog, for example. Today, there are breeds for nearly every climate, every region, and every purpose, from the Arctic sled dog that can withstand extreme cold, to the shepherd dogs of the pastures, to the companion breeds that sit contentedly in our homes. The dog has been fitted to walk alongside humanity wherever it has spread. Across the earth, scientists may claim that dogs are simply domesticated wolves, but nature contradicts the claim. For who has ever successfully taken a wolf, no matter how many generations removed, and turned it into a faithful lap companion for children or a reliable worker on the farm? A wolf, no matter how long you try to tame it, remains a wolf, wild, unpredictable, untamable in the deepest sense. But if you take a dog, even one that has lived world 4 generations, and bring it back into a human household, within days it resumes its posture of loyalty. It submits, it bonds, it protects, it serves. The difference is profound, and it cannot be written off as accident. The dog was created by God to be what it is, man's companion, servant, and friend. The same is true for the house cat. Unlike the tiger or the leopard, which remain dangerous no matter how they are raised, the domestic cat was fitted to dwell alongside us. It is playful, affectionate, drawn to companionship. Children adore it, the elderly treasure it, and it has a peculiar ability to comfort those in sorrow or loneliness. It was created with disposition and character designed for the home. Think also of the horse. The horse was not an afterthought of nature, evolving randomly into usefulness. No, it was designed with man's needs in mind. In its mouth, there is a space where no teeth grow, perfectly suited to hold a bit so that it can be guided without discomfort while still eating its food. It has strength, speed, and endurance, but also a spirit capable of responding to human touch and command. Compare it to the zebra, its wild cousin, which resists domestication, remaining stubborn, unpredictable, and dangerous. The horse was designed for us, and the zebra was not. That difference cannot be explained by chance. It points to intent. Or think of the cow. What if this creature, which provides milk, labor, and food, had been given the fierce and violent temperament of a lion or a hyena? It would have been entirely unfit for human use. It would have been a terror rather than a blessing. But it was not so. The cow was given a gentle nature, making it safe to handle, to live alongside, to depend upon. This is not randomness. It is design. In every case, the animal creation reveals the wise foresight of a creator who shaped certain creatures for specific roles in man's life. He knew that man would need animals who would respond to affection, who would thrive on companionship, who would yearn for relationship, and who would willingly obey. The domestic animals were not accidents, they were gifts. And just as we can see this design in the animal world, we can see it also in the plant world. Consider the staggering variety of woods alone. There are more than 183 varieties of eucalyptus trees, and that is only one family. Add to that the oak, strong and enduring, the pine, tall and whispering in the wind, the maple, whose leaves turn brilliant colors in autumn, the willow, graceful and delicate, the poplar, standing solemn and straight. Each tree carries qualities that serve human needs, for building, for shelter, for beauty, for comfort, for fuel. They are not meaningless accidents of nature. They were created with intention to provide what humanity would one day need in its growth, development, and expansion across the earth. And beyond the trees, think of the vast vegetable kingdom. There are over 100,000 classified varieties of plants, each with its own role to play. For every one of those plants, shrubs, vegetables, fruits, and trees, there are more than 500,000 insects designed to feed on them, regulate them, and ensure balance. It is a complex web of interdependence, yet it functions with precision. Nothing is wasted, nothing is without purpose, and as humanity grows in knowledge and technology, we continue to discover, within the vegetable kingdom, answers to needs we never anticipated. Medicines, fuels, materials all hidden within plants, waiting to be uncovered by human discovery. The more we search, the more we realize how deeply creation was designed to serve the needs of mankind. What, then, does this tell us? If the earth itself was created for man, and if the heavens exist for the sake of the earth, then the question presses itself upon us. What is the reason for man? Why do we exist? We have seen how everything else, the animals, the plants, the balance of creation was designed with humanity in mind. But what about us? Why did God create us? The answer is profound in its simplicity. The reason for man is found in the heart of God. Creation itself flows from the lonely heart of the great Father who longed for children. Paul says in Ephesians that all fatherhood finds its origin in God, whether in heaven or on earth. That means every glimpse of fatherly love we see in the world, every family bond, every parent-child relationship is a faint echo of the eternal reality in God Himself. Fatherhood begins in Him, and our existence as His children springs from His desire for a family. Think of it. God had angels, countless in number, to serve Him as messengers and ministers.
They carried out His commands, they worshipped Him, they stood in His presence, but they were not enough. Angels are servants, not sons. They minister, but they do not share the Father's nature. They are witnesses of His glory, but they cannot call Him Father in the same way we can. What God longed for was children. He yearned for sons and daughters who would share His life, reflect His image, walk in relationship with Him, and be the objects of His love. This yearning is what drove Him, with patience that spans ages, to prepare the earth and the heavens as a home for mankind. He labored with love, arranging the stars, forming the earth, shaping the animals, planting the forests, filling the seas, all of it with humanity in mind. He took His time, because this was no small project. This was the fulfillment of His dream. This was the outworking of His deepest desire. And when the stage was finally set, when every detail had been attended to, He formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed His own life into him. Man became a living being, a son of God, the firstborn of a family that God had longed for from eternity. If this is true, and it is, then man is not an insignificant accident, not a fleeting blip on the radar of a meaningless universe. Man is a most wonderful being. To be human is to be the object of God's eternal dream. To be human is to be wanted, desired, loved by the Creator of all things. To be human is to hold a place in God's heart that angels cannot fill, a place so precious that He spent ages preparing for it, and a place so treasured that He would one day give His own Son to redeem it after sin threatened to destroy it. What dignity this gives to our existence! What wonder it adds to our lives! We are not wandering through a meaningless cosmos. We are walking through a world carefully crafted for us by a Father who longed for our companionship. The animals at our side, the food on our tables, the trees that give us shelter, the plants that yield medicine and sustenance, all of it is part of a Father's provision for His children, and we ourselves are not just participants in this creation. We are the very reason for it. The universe was built for the earth. The earth was built for man, and man was made for God. When you pause to consider this, it transforms the way you see everything. The companionship of a dog, the playfulness of a cat, the strength of a horse, the gentleness of a cow, the variety of trees, the abundance of plants, all of these become daily reminders of the Father's heart. They tell us that we are not forgotten, that we are not alone, that from the beginning God has had us in mind. And above all, they tell us that the reason for our existence is not to serve as mere workers, not to fulfill some impersonal function, but to be children loved by a Father whose heart was lonely without us.
If God so wanted man, if He so loved man that He spent ages preparing creation as our home, then how great must be the place we hold in His heart, how high we stand in His dream, How deep is our significance in His eternity? We are not merely part of creation, we are the reason for it. And when we realize this, we can never again look at ourselves or at the world around us the same way. We see in everything the marks of love, the evidence of design, the whisper of a Father calling us back to His heart.